When I first started lifting, the only muscle that I really cared about was my biceps. I only wanted to have big biceps. And in doing so, I did bicep workouts literally 4 to 5 times a week, only training biceps for an hour and a half at a time. This created a actual shoulder injury because a lot of the bicep movements you do cause strain in the shoulders. If you don't have strong shoulders, training biceps, quite honestly, can lead to some pretty detrimental effects. So I literally couldn't raise my arms above here without having like debilitating pain. Furthermore, I developed huge imbalances with my shoulders running forward, literally walked. The trainer at the gym, Nolan, he called me chest forward guy, or it was something along the lines of chest guy, only trains chest guy. And this was pretty detrimental for my physical health because I had a lot of injuries that popped up that really didn't need to be injuries if I trained right and focused my posterior chain, and quite honestly led to having an underdeveloped physique, underdeveloped strength, when I could have probably surpassed some PRs years earlier if I trained right. And honestly, an overall lack of confidence because I wasn't, gaining the muscle, I wasn't gaining the strength, and I didn't feel like I was where I should be. Now, when it comes to training the best way possible, I believe that there's not a single muscle group besides calves that can be neglected. I think they have to do everything at a very high level, train intense in all areas, and push your body to physical extremes, not limited to just your chest, your shoulders, your biceps, your triceps, your back, your hamstring, quads, glutes, whatever. It has to be everything that kind of gets work put into it. But I do think there are a few muscle groups that stand out as being more beneficial to train than others. And for me, I think that the biggest one is your back, your meat shield. Having a wide back is probably one of these most powerful muscle groups to have. It's one of the muscle groups that will keep your longevity for many years. You'll train with longevity in mind if you train your back. It'll prevent injuries in your shoulders, it'll prevent injuries in your legs, your lower back. You will be able to train for a lot longer if you have a strong back. There's one powerlifter that I was looking at, and he said he's never met a weak man with a strong back, and I quite honestly agree with him. It's one of those muscle groups that's going to nourish the rest of your body, improve the rest of your lifts. Literally, you want a bigger bench, have a strong back. You want a bigger deadlift, obviously have a stronger back. You want a bigger squat, have a strong back. Neglecting the muscles around your spine is going to destroy all of your lifts, because if the trunk of your body can't handle the weight, how can you expect to be able to press it, to be able to squat it, to be able to move it? You can't. When it comes to one of the muscle groups too that's probably most beneficial for looks, the back has to be it. To walk behind someone, and a lot of times we don't think this, to see a man from the back and have his shirt hanging off of him incredibly loose, very tiny shoulders, a lack of emphasis on any muscles that you can see, it's not something that gives that powerful look that we look for. When you do see a man from the back, and that sounds kind of weird, when you see a man from the back and their shirt is perfectly conformed to all the muscles, you can see the back muscles, you can see the rhomboids, the lats, the delts, that's what makes it look impressive, and that's what kind of gives off that air of power. And for me, it was probably one of the more confident-inducing training aspects that I think I incorporated. When I had a strong back, I felt phenomenal day-to-day life. Photos, I felt like I looked great. When you can see the lat poking outside your shirt, it's one of those looks that is very beneficial for confidence. Not to mention the strength, the longevity side effects induced too. And for the young guys training who don't see your back, I urge you to train it. If you don't train it, you'll be missing out on potential women looking your way. You'll be missing out on the confidence factor when you're around other men, because it does matter. I don't look at a skinny 110-pound person and be like, wow, I want to be like you. No, you look at Arnold, you look at the big people who train their back, you look at the people who have impressive physiques and not having maybe the big biceps and not the big back. You see it. You see it a lot. And there is a huge difference. And when it came to training my back, the movements are probably the most beneficial. Anything really pulling is going to train your back. For me, lots of pull-ups. I've done probably tens of thousands of pull-ups by this time. Weighted pull-ups, weighted chin-ups, any pulling movement vertically is going to benefit you a lot, as well with rows. I don't like the barbell row a whole lot because I feel like it places a lot of damage on the lower back, but doing dumbbell rows where you're holding onto a bench, using a lot of weight, really focusing on that extension, that's going to be incredibly beneficial. Doing lat pull-downs with different attachments, like the mag grip, so you can get that really nice, contraction when you're pulling it, really retracting your spine and feeling all the muscles working. That's going to be beneficial. And then weighted carries and weighted Any muscle that kind of places that tension on your back and the muscles around your spine. So deadlifts, for me, I grew my traps literally just by deadlifting. I've done probably a few dozen sets of shrugs in the last like 6 years total. I just don't train shrugs at all. And my traps grew to be one of the most genetically gifted muscle groups off of that purely. Along with the other back work that I was getting. I mean, when you're doing any pulling exercise, there's gonna be some trap involvement. And for me, deadlifts were the big one. I can literally, I got a pump from training deadlifts, just from that. The pull downwards, that stretch, the weighted stretch on your traps, it made a very big impact on my physique, as well as hitting the muscles around the neck too, because, you know, training your back, you're gonna inadvertently hit your neck muscles as well too. It created a really nice picture, really developed my physique, and quite honestly, it was probably one of the most beneficial for my physique, for my strength, for my longevity muscle groups that I think I should train. And I think you guys should train too. So I urge you, train your back. You should always do twice as much volume on your back side, triceps, your back, lower back, hamstrings, glutes, then on your front, your biceps, your chest, your front delts. Trust me, you'll be much happier long term. You'll have much fewer injuries, and you'll be able to train for many more years. So I hope you guys have a great day. Just another video from me. I'm sitting in the nutrition shack, just vibing. Currently, you know, not much to do, so I figured I'd record a video, be a little productive, but I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Peace.